Hello guys, how are you? So I believe the audio and video is clear to all of you. Can you please confirm once in the comment box? I believe the audio and video is clear to everyone. Come on guys, come on, come on, come on. Can you please confirm the chat box, please? Okay, okay. Chalo, let's start the session. So, warm welcome to all of you in the ACCA SBR orientation session. This is CA Vishal Jain, your faculty for ACCFR and SBR paper. Okay, now in this session, I do assume that there are students coming up from CA route. There are students coming from exemption route. There are students coming from, you can say, FR route. They have appeared the skill level FR. They have appeared the knowledge level. Okay, or there are students coming from the BCom route, the graduation route. Okay, so there are students coming from multiple routes. I do understand the point, and I'll ensure that in this orientation session, I am covering the points for each one of you so that you understand the paper in a well structured pattern. Now, understand, guys, in this session, what will be the agenda? Guys, see, more or less, I do assume that all of us know what exactly is the basics of accounting, and we know that SBR is an accounting paper, definitely more than that, but primarily the structure is an accounting paper, right? So now, first of all, before we understand anything else in this structure in this session, first of all, understand what exactly are we going to study. Point number one, what exactly is the SBR paper all about? For the students who have studied the ACCA FR, I'll also help you how exactly is ACCA SBR different from ACCA FR. We'll study how exactly is ACCA SBR different from CA final financial reporting if there are students coming from CA final perspective. We'll discuss from that angle as well. Okay, we'll study what exactly is the syllabus area of ACCA SBR, what is the paper pattern of ACCA SBR, what is the intent of ACCA behind structuring this course content of ACCA SBR, and how well you can cope up with the syllabus in a very proper management, time management skills. Okay, with all those things, also we'll focus on what will be our course structure. Okay, so now in this session, definitely I'll cater to the students who are taking my classes or who are students doing self study. I'll cater to both set of students. Okay, so I will guide what will be my teaching style, my course structure. Also for the students who are doing the self study, I'll give you a set of guidelines for those set of students as well. Okay, so on this note, without wasting even a single minute of the time, let me start my discussion of the importance and the linkage of ACCA SBR paper with the other papers, and you should understand how exactly or why exactly is ACCA SBR important for you. Okay, guys, understand. As you all know that whenever I'm explaining a topic, I go into the basics of it. Okay, so now I want to map my ACCA SBR with the ACCA curriculum. Guys, all of us know that in ACCA we have three levels, right? Now, one is knowledge level, another is skill level, and then comes towards the end professional level. Accounting as a paper is there in all the three levels. At knowledge level, it is called as FA. At skill level, it is called as FR. And at professional level, it is called as SBR. Okay, now understand. Additionally, there is one more paper linked to this SBR. Is in skill level, we have a paper called as AA. And at professional level, we have a paper called as AAA. Okay, now understand. While studying FA, the intent of ACCA is just to explain to the students the skeleton of financial statements, journal entries, ledgers, trial balance. This is the intent. Now, when in skill level, that is FR, the intent of ACCA is to teach the students at FR level basics of IAS and IFRS, that is International Accounting Standards and International Financial Reporting Standards, the basics of it. Okay, but at SBR level, definitely, if you ask me in one word, SBR is an advanced version of FR. Agree. But if you ask me exactly, sir, what is the difference between FR and SBR? So I'll say two things. Point number one, from a content perspective, from an approach perspective. Now, if I have to say from a content perspective, content is, I can say 60% is same. Like for example, IAS 16 on property, plant and equipment, it is there at skill level also, it is there at professional level also. Okay, there are many topics. Okay, just to help you understand, I'll show it to you also. See here. Just give me a minute, please. Please see here. Property, plant, equipment, borrowing cost, investment property, exactly same. Impairment of assets, exactly same. But yes, in SBR we have fewer new topics also in impairment. Leases, more or less same, but yes, we have few additional topics at SBR level. Financial instruments, again the same, but we have few additional topics at SBR level. Employee benefits as a standard is introduced new in SBR. Okay, it's not a new standard. When I'm saying comparing FR and SBR, employee benefits was not in FR, employee benefits is there in SBR. This is what I want to say. Okay, now share based payments, again a new standard for SBR students. Okay, revenue, they study at FR level also, at SBR level also, but there are fewer more topics at SBR level. So what I want to say is, from a content perspective, it is 60% same, 40% is new in SBR, but the difference, actual difference, comes up in the approach level. Guys, understand, at FR level, what happens is 80%, around 80%, I can say, is calculation. 20% is, you can say, analysis. Right? At SBR, things change. In SBR, 70% is analysis and only 30% is calculation. Now, when I say analysis, it can be anything. It can be discuss, it can be interpret, it can be analyze, it can be critically evaluate, it can be evaluate, it can be anything. Okay, I will show in the questions also, need not worry, I'll show it to you. But what I'm trying to say, SBR paper is not a number crunching paper. It's a paper of understanding. It's a paper, subjective paper, where you are required to write your analysis, where you are required to evaluate, where you are required to discuss things. Okay, you are not required to just compute like in FR. No, no, no. Okay, you are required to discuss, analyze, interpret, evaluate, critically analyze. All those things you are required to do in SBR paper. Okay, so now again comes the question, how and why is SBR important? So SBR, understand guys, understand one fair point. If you see accountants, okay, after qualifying ACCA, you will become a professional accountant, right? Now, if you see an accountant 10 years back, the only role of an accountant was limited to do the accounting. But now the role of accountant is not limited to accounting. It is also extended to reporting to the stakeholders. And that's why the name of the paper is not accounting. It is business reporting. It is business reporting. Okay. But why business reporting? Why not financial reporting? Why not financial reporting? Let me explain that. Guys, understand, in financial reporting at skill level FR paper, what we study is, we study the IFRS and explain the accounting, and accordingly we do the accounting treatment of the particular transaction. But at SBR level, there are two perspectives. One is IFRS, which explains the accounting treatment. One is the practical real life scenario. Now, what happens? We have to apply this IFRS in the given real life scenario and suggest the accounting treatment. That's why it is called as strategic business reporting. I believe you understand the name of the paper, which justifies itself, okay. And now, since the with the evolve as the world is evolving, the professional accountants are also evolving, right? So now understand, as the professional accountants are evolving, we need to understand, if you are just doing an accounting, you are becoming replaceable because AI will replace you. But if you enter into the role of reporting, can AI do the reporting? No, AI can't do the reporting, because what is the meaning of reporting? Reporting means someone being held accountable. Can AI be held accountable for that? No. Can AI be held accountable? No. A professional accountant can be held accountable, right? So here the role of professional accountant extends beyond just the accounting, and the SBR paper is the paper which justifies its role. Okay, so that's why in SBR paper it is quite very important a paper for all the students pursuing ACCA. Why? Because it will enable you to do the reporting part. That's one of the important aspect of SBR paper. Second part, you can say why SBR is important. Guys, understand, ACCA is primarily an accounting qualification, right? Now, when it's an accounting qualification, and you, after qualifying ACCA, when you go for a job, okay, in whichever domain you go for in audit domain, accounting domain, due diligence domain, financial planning and analysis domain, business finance domain, whichever domain you go for, they will definitely test your knowledge on IFRS in the interviews. So this knowledge of SBR is really going to be beneficial for in the interviews. The third part, okay, let's suppose there is a paper in professional level which is called as AAA, Advanced Audit and Assurance paper. Now tell me, can you please tell me what is the definition of audit? So audit is the independent examination of the financial statements. And how are financial statements prepared? Using IAS and IFRS, right? And where do we study IAS and IFRS? SBR. So to clear AAA, the knowledge of SBR is of prime importance, and that is why ACCA strongly recommends that if you have to opt AAA as the optional paper, you have to opt it immediately after appearing SBR paper, or opt it along with the SBR paper. There should not be a major or a substantial gap between SBR and AAA. No. Okay, so that's why SBR as a paper becomes quite very important for you to study with proper due diligence. Okay, now, having understood the importance of the paper, now we see what I have done here is I have listed out for students who struggle, sir, what is the difference between FR and SBR from a content perspective. I have listed out what is the difference between FR and SBR, which you can refer for your, it is completely for your reference. Okay, now if I have to just say the difference, it's not a number crunching paper. SBR is not a number crunching paper. It's a paper of interpretation, justification, and analysis. It is a paper about communication to the investors, not only investors. A better term can be stakeholders. Okay. Now in ACCFR, understand, in ACCFR, you would have find, if you can notice, if a question comes up, a question comes from a particular standard. Let me show it to you. FR. Okay. See, this is the question of FR. Where exactly are? Yes. Let's suppose this is the question of FR. Let's suppose. So this is coming from particular standard IAS 10. But if you have to see a particular question of SBR, If you have to see a particular question of SBR, will it be coming from a particular standard? No. Will it come from a particular standard? No. It will come from multiple standards. Let me show it to you. Let me show it to you. Just give me a minute, please. This is a past paper, March June 2025 of SBR. Okay. Let me show one question so that you understand things. Just see. This question number 1. I'm coming to the requirements directly. A particular question, just see from where the questions are coming. Part 1 of the question is coming from group accounting. Part 2 of the question is coming from employee benefits and group accounting, right? Part 3 is from both these questions as a merged one. Let me show other questions also. Why only this one? Let me show other questions also. See here, requirements. One part of the question is coming from revenue. Another part is coming from leases. Another part is coming from financial instruments. So one question is not coming from a particular standard. The questions are coming from multiple standards as a whole, right? So here what happens, and FR and SBR, this is the difference, because in FR you are studying just a particular accounting treatment for that particular transaction. Tell me, in real life, will that happen? We will enter into a transaction focusing only on one standard? No. The transaction, when we enter into transaction, that transaction might attract multiple standards. The application of multiple accounting standards. That's how things work in real life. And that's how our SBR paper is also structured. That's why it is called as business reporting, not financial reporting. Okay. Now, again, as I mentioned, real life based and current issues. Now, what is the meaning of real life based? Okay. See, everywhere we talk about crypto, right? In SBR, you will study the accounting treatment of cryptocurrencies. Everywhere we study about, we hear the term crowdfunding. At SBR, we study something called as crowdfunding. Everywhere. Now, okay, forget about crypto, forget about anything else. You would have heard the term called as sustainability every time, right? You would have heard the term sustainability everywhere. At SBR, you have to study sustainability. Okay. Let me give you just a small example. Okay. See, this is one of the favorite topic. This is my favorite topic. Okay. So I explained to my students also that sustainability, though from an exam perspective, not that important. But if you go and work in the real world, sustainability becomes a quite very important. And you know what? There is so much hype of sustainability that we fail to actually understand the real meaning of sustainability. Let me explain you with the help of example. Sustainability. Okay, I'm not going to the depth of the topic as of now, but since the topic has come up, let me talk about it a little bit. Okay, what is sustainability? What is sustainability? Let's suppose you are earning $10,000. Okay, and okay, monthly you are earning, let's suppose, $5,000, and monthly you are spending $4,500. Or let's suppose monthly you are earning $5,000, you are spending also monthly you are earning $5,000, monthly you are spending $5,000. Are you sustainable? Tell me please. Are you sustainable? You'll say, yes, sir, my income can cater to my expenses. Yes, I'm sustainable. No, my dear friend, you are not sustainable. Why? Why? Because let's suppose, see what you are doing, whatever you are earning, you are spending it off. In the times of difficulty, from where you will get the funds? In the times of difficulty, where will you get the funds from? You are not sustainable. You are not sustainable. Now, why this topic of sustainability becomes important? Because when the COVID hit the market, many of the big companies also got shut down. They got wound up, right? They were profitable, but still they got wound up. Why? Because they didn't see things from the future perspective. Now the investors earlier used to see whether the company is profitable or not, whether the company is making good revenue or not. Now the investors are also focusing whether the company is sustainable or not. That is in the term in line with the future difficulty, they will be able to survive or not. That is called as sustainability. So ideally, sustainability is quite an easy topic. If you study things practically, logically, it becomes quite an becomes quite an easy topic. But it is a part of the syllabus and we have to understand it. So that's the beauty of SBR paper. Okay, you study relevant things. You study things which is actually applicable in the real life world. That's what is the beauty of SBR, I'll say. Now, at SBR level, one question that comes up again is knowledge sufficient? No. Might be at FR level, I will say yes, knowledge is sufficient. But at SBR level, just having the knowledge of the concept is not sufficient. You should also learn how to apply this knowledge in the given scenario. Then only you will be able to write your answers. Okay, how to apply? There is a knowledge of the standards, there is a given real life scenario. You should have the ability to integrate both of them and apply the knowledge in the given case scenario and write your answers. This is what is required at SBR level. And now how to integrate? How will you integrate your knowledge and the scenario? If you know the why behind every concept, the logical reason behind every concept, if you know that, you will be able to integrate it in a very easy manner. Okay, like for example, if I have to say there is a concept of sale and lease back, why such an accounting for the concept of sale and lease back? If there is an accounting for financial asset, why do we do such accounting for financial asset? The why behind every concept is very important. Okay, guys, understand, whether you are taking classes me or from any other faculty or or you are doing self study, irrespective of whatever you are doing, make sure that you are asking why. If you have the why clear, SBR will be quite very easy. SBR will be quite very easy for you to clear. Okay, now, so this is what is the structure of SBR. Structure of SBR. Now, if I have to go to the syllabus of ACCA SBR, so the ACCA has divided the syllabus into 6 parts. Let me first of all read those 6 parts and then I'll explain in a systematic manner. Part A is fundamental ethics and the professional principles. Part B is the reporting framework. Part C is the financial performance. Part B is the financial statements of the group of entities. Part E is the interpretation of the financial statements. Part F is the impact of changes and the potential changes in the accounting regulation. Let me first of all draw a line chart or draw a flow chart for you and then explain and map these with you. Understand from where the accounting starts. Transaction level accounting. Transaction level accounting, right? For each transaction, how do we do the accounting treatment? And that is given as part of IAS or IFRS. Okay. Once this is done, we move on to the next step. That is, we prepare financial statements. We prepare financial statements. Now, what is the meaning of financial statements? The SOFP, P&L, or statement of changes in equity, cash flow statements, notes to accounts, all those things. Okay, I believe you understand it. Now, once the financial statements are prepared, it is then we move on to the next step. Now, what is the next step? Let me explain it to you. Add page. Let's suppose, guys, talking from an India perspective, there is a company called as Tata Group. Okay, Tata Group has multiple companies. For example, let's say Tata Motors. For example, let's say Tata Power. Though there are more than 100 companies of Tata Group, but I'm writing few. Okay. For example, Tata Capital. For example, Tata Steel. For example, TCS. There are multiple companies. Right? Now, what happens? First of all, each company, Tata Motors, does transaction level accounting, then prepares financial statements. Similarly, Tata Power does transaction level accounting throughout the year and then prepares the financial statements at the end of the year. Tata Capital does transaction level accounting throughout the year and prepares financial statements at the end of the year. Similarly for TCS, similarly for Tata Steel. Once all the companies have prepared their individual financial statements, then what happens? Tata Group combines the financial statements of all these companies and makes one group financial statements Okay, and that is called as group FS. So after the individual FS of the individual companies are prepared, it is then we prepare group financial statements. Group financial statements. Okay. Now there is a query coming from Abhishek. Also after Abhishek, for these queries, you can reach out to our team. Okay, you can reach out to our team, and our team will help you with the details of each and everything. Okay. Now, since your query is from an exemption perspective, here we are discussing particularly from an SBR perspective. Now, once we prepare group financial statements, then we move on to the next perspective, that is analysis of the financial statements. Analysis of the financial statements. We move to the next perspective, analysis of the financial statements. Now understand, while doing all of these, ACCA wants, understand, after becoming ACCA, after qualifying ACCA, you become a professional accountant. Society will rely on the financial statements audited by you, right? So since a large public will be relying on your judgment, so ACCA expects you to be ethical. Okay, hence ACCA introduces a concept of ethics. Now comes the next study area called as ethics. You have to be ethical while doing the accounting treatment. Now understand. And one more area is introduced called as framework. Now what is framework? I'll talk about it. I'll talk about framework, but before that, whatever we have discussed, let me first of all map to the ACCA structure. Fundamental ethics, part A. This is part A, fundamental ethics. Part B is financial reporting framework. This is part B. But I'll explain what is framework, need not worry. But let me just map first of all. So C is financial reporting performance. So this is part C. D is financial statement of groups. So this is part C. This is also part C. Now, financial statement of group companies. This is part D. Group companies. Interpreting financial statements is part E. This is part E. And now comes the next one more area that is introduced by ACCA is current issues. I'll discuss about this also. This is part F. This is part F. Okay, so I have explained the meaning of part A, part C, part D, part E. I have to explain the meaning of framework. I have to explain the meaning of impact of changes and potential changes in accounting regulation, that is current issues. It is also called as current issues. Okay, now I have to discuss these two. Now coming to first of all framework. Now what is the meaning of framework? Guys, understand. Let's suppose whenever an entity enters into any transaction for which there is no given accounting standard, definitely the accountant will struggle how to do the accounting treatment of this particular transaction, right? So for that the standards, there is no particular standard, then how to do the accounting treatment? Then comes the conceptual framework into the picture. Now this conceptual framework guides the professional accountant in how to do the accounting treatment for the particular transaction that is entered into by the professional accountant. I believe you are understanding the meaning. Okay, now let's suppose if a standard setting body wants to set any new accounting standard, they have to again take the reference of conceptual framework to set up new standards. They have to take the help of the conceptual framework. They have to refer the conceptual framework. This is the relevance. So in a nutshell, if I have to say, understand, for every religion there is a base book. For Hinduism it's Gita, you can say. For Christianity it might be Bible. For Islam it might be, you can say, Quran, right? So similarly for accounting, if we consider it as a religion, then the conceptual framework is the book for that. That's the relevance of conceptual framework. Which is also called as financial reporting framework. Which guides you what exactly is the meaning of asset, liability, income, expense, equity, capital, what should be the measurement basis. Okay, now basically it talks about what is the value in use, current cost, replacement cost. It gives you all the details of it. Okay, okay, so that you can do the accounting treatment of any particular transaction for which there is no accounting standard already set in place. I believe you are very well understanding the structure of the syllabus structure for ACCA SBR. Okay, now further, now moving on to the exam pattern of ACCA SBR. Need not worry guys, first of all I'll explain the exam pattern of ACCA SBR, and then quickly I'll take you to the ACCA practice platform where I will show you the March-June 2025 exam paper itself and explain how exactly the paper is structured of ACCA SBR. Now, so SBR paper is ideally divided into two parts. Section A and Section B. Section A and Section B. Section A is of 50 marks. And Section B is again of 50 marks. 50, 50, 100 marks total. Now again, Section A is divided into two parts. Question number 1, question number 2. Question number 1 will be tested particularly from group accounting. Question number 1 will be particularly tested from group accounting of 30 marks. of 30 marks. Now, when I say group accounting of 30 marks, I'll take this opportunity to highlight that in this 30 marks, ACCA gives you around 12 to 14 marks for free by the name of pre-populated screen. Sir, what is this pre-populated screen? So basically what ACCA does is they give you the draft SOFP or a draft P&L or a draft cash flow for the group accounting already prepared. But in that there are certain mistakes done. There are certain mistakes done which ACCA already highlights that this is the mistake done. Now you just need to rectify those mistakes. You just need to rectify those mistakes in the group FS. That's all. And once you rectify, you get the marks for it. That's all. That's all. And the beauty of this question number one is, let's suppose there are two mistakes. So, and your question will have two parts. Question number one will be of part A, part B, part C. Part A will talk about mistake number one. And question will ask you, please suggest what should be the correct treatment of mistake number one. So here you have to write what was the mistake, what was the correct accounting, what should be the correct accounting and how it should be rectified. Similarly, in part B of the question will say that this is mistake number 2. Then you have to say what was the mistake done in the accounting treatment, what should be the correct treatment and how it should be rectified. And now in part C, question will say using these two mistakes, rectify the pre-populated screen. That's the beauty of it. Let me show it to you. When I show it to you, you will actually relate to it. Just give me a minute, please. So this is, see here, March, June 2025 paper. Okay. Now section A, this section of the exam contains 2 questions, total of 50 marks. Moving on to the next screen. Question number 1. How many marks? Just see requirement 30 marks. Requirement is of 30 marks, right? Now if you open to the requirements, question number 1, group accounting, right? Using exhibit 1, explain with calculations. Now using exhibit 1 is this one. Explain with calculations and in accordance with the IFRS accounting standards how to correct the accounting treatment of investments in Brian in the console FS, right? So mistake number 1, it is asking you to explain how to correct. In part B, using exhibit 2, explain and with calculations how to account for the defined benefit plan in the console FS. Right? So you have to explain the mistake number 1 here, explain mistake number 2 here, and here in part C, using exhibit 1 and exhibit number 2 and your previous answers, adjust the pre-populated spreadsheet response option to correct the draft console SOFP. So, and how many marks? 12 marks. So you just need to reiterate these two in this answer. So where is the pre-populated screen? See, this is the pre-populated screen. See this one. This is your pre-populated screen, wherein ACCA has already, just I'll reduce the size a little bit. See, this is the draft console SOFP already prepared. Draft console SOFP already prepared, and here you just need to rectify it and give your final console SOFP. So as easy as that, right? But yes, you have to understand how to deal with these things properly, which we will be dealing in our class, which I'll discuss in depth in our classes. Okay, which we'll discuss in depth in our classes. Now moving on to our screen again. So this is question number 1 of 30 marks. Now question number 2 will be from an ethics perspective. So the question number 2 will be from an ethics perspective. Now this will be of 20 marks. So 30 plus 20 is 50. 30 plus 20 is 50. 30 plus 20 is 50. Now in this question number 2 of ethics, what happens? There will be an accounting misstatement done by the professional accountant, which you have to identify and suggest whether it is an ethical or unethical. So in this question number 2, there will be 2 things. One an accounting issue, one an ethical issue. You have to comment on both. Okay, you have to comment on both. You have to comment on both. So now let me show that also to you. Question number two. Question number two on ethics, right? So now just see here requirements. In accordance with IFRS 9 financial statements, discuss the accounting treatment of transaction in Exhibit 1. So first of all, it is asking you the accounting treatment. Okay. Now, using Exhibit 2, discuss the ethical issues raised by the scenario. So one is the accounting issue, another is the ethical issue. So you have to talk from same thing from two perspectives. Same thing, but from two different perspectives, you have to talk about it. I believe you are understanding these things. Also, in this question, there are two professional marks. There are two professional marks. For these professional marks, you're not required to write anything extra. You're not required to write anything extra. But the way you structure these two answers, on the basis of that, you will get these two professional marks, which in our classes we'll discuss in depth how to score the professional marks. So there are a total of 4 professional marks in SBR. Okay, 2 here and 2 later on. Now, this is question number 2. Now, moving on to my screen. Question number, now, this is section A. If I move on to section B now. Section B again has 2 questions. Question number 3 and question number 4. And both these questions are of 25 marks. Both these questions are of 25 marks. Okay. Now, question number 3 will be from a particular IAS or IFRS. Okay. Now, in question number 3, either they will ask you an accounting treatment of a particular transaction, or they will say that accountant has done this mistake, how to rectify the same. So they will ask things from this perspective in question number 3. In question number 4, things can be asked from anywhere. They can ask you from IAS or IFRS. They can ask you from current issues. Now, what is current issue? I have to explain. I'll discuss. Need not worry. They can ask you from stakeholder perspective. They can ask you from criticisms. They can ask you from criticisms to IAS or IFRS. Okay. They can ask from anything. Now, let me explain. What is the meaning of IAS or IFRS? Meaning thereby they can ask you the accounting treatment of a particular transaction. They can ask that the accountant has done this mistake, how to rectify the same. In the current issue, now a good point. What will be there in the current issue? What is the meaning of current issue? Real life scenarios going on. Okay. Since COVID hit the market, what is the impact of COVID in the accounting treatment for different companies? Okay. Now, for a capital intensive company, when the COVID hit the market, they have to impair their non-current assets, right? Now, there is a change of the climate that is happening. What is the impact of the change of the climate in the accounting treatment? What is the accounting treatment for the cryptocurrencies? What is the accounting treatment for the crowdfunding, right? All these are current issues. What is the accounting treatment of suggested by IFRS 18? We know earlier it used to be IAS 1. For the preparation of the published financial statements, we used to follow the format prescribed by IAS 1, right? Now, going forward, it will be IFRS 18. Going forward, it will be IFRS 18, right? So now, what is the accounting treatment suggested by IFRS 18? What is the format recommended by IFRS 18? What is the change brought in by IFRS 18? Again becomes a current issue. Now, stakeholder perspective. Now, what you have to do in the stakeholder perspective, you have to explain things to the stakeholder. Might be the investor, might be the creditor, might be any other stakeholder. Okay. So you have to explain things to the stakeholder. Criticisms to IAS and IFRS. Now you have to step into the shoes of standard setting body. Okay. Or the industry experts and suggest that this is the accounting treatment. Let's suppose this is an accounting treatment IAS 19 on employee benefits. Now you have to critically evaluate IAS 19 and suggest, is there any change that you can recommend in IAS 19? From a different perspective, different perspective, you have to suggest changes. Now in answers of this type, there is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. How well you can justify your points is what matters. How well you are able to justify your points is what matters. There is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. So again, ACCA is trying to test how well you have understood the why behind the concepts. If you have understood the why behind each and every IS and IFRS, question number 4 will be cakewalk for you. It will be cakewalk for you. It will be cakewalk for you. Yes, in question number 4, they also test, okay, IAS and IFRS versus framework, whether the standard and the framework are in line with each other or they are in conflict with each other. So you have to test from this perspective also. Let me show question number 3 and question number 4 to you guys so that you will understand things logically. Okay, coming to the desktop screen sharing. Now see here, question number section B contains 2 questions and each question is of 25 marks each. Moving on to the next screen. This is question number 3. Just see the requirements. Using exhibit 1 in accordance with IFRS 15, discuss the accounting implication of the contract modification, asking you the accounting treatment. Okay, in accordance with IFRS 16, explain how to account for the lease agreement, asking for an accounting treatment. Okay, explain how the bond should be accounted, asking for an accounting treatment. This is question number 3. They will ask primarily accounting treatment or how to rectify all those things. Now, moving on to question number 4. Now see the requirements. As I mentioned, they might ask you accounting treatment, they might ask you rectification, they might ask you criticisms to the standards, they might ask you to explain to the stakeholders, they might ask you to criticize the standard, they might ask you to link to the conceptual framework. Now see here, question number 1, how to account. Okay, discuss the issues to be considered when subsequently accounting for the trademark. Okay, briefly discuss the usefulness of segment reporting requirements. Now, so it is asking you to critically evaluate the IFRS 8, whether the disclosures prescribed in IFRS 8 operating segments, are they useful or there is something to be added or there is something to be deleted, right? In helping investors to better understand the performance of the entities. Now, discuss whether the divisions or the operating units should be identified, again from an IS or IFRS. Using the summarized financial information, discuss or explain with calculations which of the operating segments should be reported in the operating segments disclosure note. So see, understand, in this question number 4, this question is from IS IFRS, 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 and this question, part B, is from critically evaluating the IS and IFRS. Okay, and again 2 marks is professional marks, which we'll discuss. Okay, how well you are structuring your content answers for these answers, on the basis of that you will get the professional marks. I believe you are understanding the paper structure of ACCA SBR. So in a net there are 4 questions. Question number 1 will be from group accounting of 30 marks. Okay, now question number 2 will be from ethics of 20 marks. Question number 3 will be from IAS and IFRS of 25 marks. Question number 4 can come from anywhere: IAS, IFRS, conceptual framework, criticism to the standards, stakeholder perspectives, anything for 25 marks. Okay, so now understand, when I say 4 questions, it doesn't mean only 4 questions. Now each of these 4 questions have 3 to 4 sub questions. Okay, each of these questions have 3 to 4 sub questions. Okay, and these sub questions can be from different standards, so need not understand that 4 questions means the knowledge will be tested only for 4 standards. No, see, understand here, just see this question number 3, 1 question of 25 marks, IFRS 15, IFRS 16 and financial instruments IFRS 9. 3 standards is being tested here. 3 standards are being tested here. Okay, so you have to study everything from a detailed understanding perspective. I believe you are understanding. And one major point which I want to highlight in ACCA SBR is, if you can see, I don't know whether you noticed it or not, but I want you to notice that. Just see the requirements. Explain. Explain. Now this is not explain, this is adjust. So this is calculation based. Okay, can you please count how many explain is coming? 10 marks explain, 8 marks explain, 18 marks for explaining. Okay, moving on to the next question. Requirements. Discuss. Again theory. You have to write. You have to write here. You have to write. You have to explain things. Right? You have to discuss things. Discuss again. So are you understanding? SBR is not a number crunching paper. SBR is not a number crunching paper. Right? So again for 20 marks, just explaining things. Right? Now next, section B if we come. Requirements again, see here. Using exhibit and in accordance with IFRS 15. Discuss. Again, no number crunching, just explanations. Explain. Again, see here. Explain. Right? Now, how many marks? 25 marks fully. Right? Now, further, moving on to next question. Requirements. Explain. Discuss. Then briefly discuss. But we have to discuss whether briefly or in length. We have to discuss. Discuss. Are you understanding? SBR is not a number crunching paper. Explain with calculations. Right? So again for 25 marks. But yes, there are certain calculations also involved. There are certain marks for calculations. If I just remove 15 marks for calculations, which is also on a higher side, not 15 marks, but on a higher side 15 marks. Then also 73 marks is for discussion, evaluation, or in analysis. I believe you are understanding this point. I believe you are understanding this point. Okay. So this is what is the paper structure of ACCA SBR. Now, moving on to the course structure. Guys, understand. I have noticed students that they do struggle a lot in understanding the basics. They don't have the basics clear. Okay. See, because many students come from the exemption route also. And if you are from exemption route, might be the case, not for everyone, but for few students, they don't have the basics clear. Okay, so what I do is I assume that you don't have the knowledge, and I start the class with the basics class, which will be held tomorrow. The basics class. Monday, that is tomorrow, 7 p.m. in India time. Okay, and this is open to all for free, everyone. Wherein I'll discuss what is the meaning of financial statements, what are the components of financial statement, what are the elements of financial statement, what is the difference between components and elements of financial statements. Okay, how to understand and read the financial statements. What is the treatment of income and expense? Why do we need to discuss the treatment of income or expense? Because in the financial statement there are two set of statements. One is the statement of profit or loss, and one is the statement of other comprehensive income. Some income or expense goes in P&L, some income or expense goes in other comprehensive income. What is the rationale behind that? We have to understand, because throughout our SBR journey, we need to study these terms on a daily basis. So let's not wait towards the end. Towards the start itself, let's understand the whole of the basics of the SBR in one session itself. Okay. Now, what is the concept of time value of money? The present value concept. When to consider present value factor, when to consider annuity factor, when to make that table for computing the present value. So all those things will be discussed in detail. Okay. Now, basic rules of journal entry, because when you study journal entry, you try to understand the dual aspect of an accounting, which will be helpful in adjusting and discussing the accounting treatment at SBR level. Journal entries are of prime importance, guys, are of prime importance. Okay. Now, we have divided our syllabus into these four blocks. These four blocks, we have divided our entire SBR syllabus into these four blocks. Okay. Now, I'll show you the structure of our classes also. So this is how our classes will be structured. So today is 14th of September. We are having our class at 2 p.m. India time. SBR orientation. This is ongoing live, right? Tomorrow, Monday, 7 p.m. not 8 p.m. 7 p.m. Okay, we will be having the basics of ACCA SBR. Again, it will be YouTube live on the same channel here itself. Okay, at 7 p.m. Now, followed by that, every Saturday we will have these sessions. Now, let me explain the structure of these sessions. First of all, just give me a minute. Parth, I believe you can see the board now. Okay, now understand please how our classes will be structured. This is of prime importance for you to understand. Watch the orientation that is happening now. Plus watch first 3 class as demo. Guys, I strongly recommend all of you, before enrolling for my lectures, do watch the demo. Do watch the demo. Talk to our team. Okay, if you find that my teaching style is compatible with your studying pattern, then enroll for our lectures. Okay, if required, you can talk to me as well. I have given my contact number here. You can WhatsApp me, you can contact with me, we can discuss on that. No, okay. Now, if found compatible, you can enroll for our lectures. Okay, using this website. And the WhatsApp number is this one. If you want, you can connect with me as well. Now, once you are enrolled, what you have to do? First of all, watch the basics lecture, the basics of ACCFR and SBR. Then watch the lectures as per the plan. Sir, what is the plan? Let me show you the plan. This is the plan. So understand, 20th September, we will be having a session on non-current assets. Today, we are standing on 14th of September. How many days we have? 6 days. How many days we have? 6 days. So I will be uploading all the concept lectures for this standard IS 16, 38, 40, 23, 36 uploaded on the portal, which you have to watch in this week. In this week, you have to watch this lecture. So what I'm trying to say is these concept lectures will be provided to you in a pre-recorded mode. Okay, which you have to watch in this week. Once you are done watching the concept lectures, then you come to me, come to the session, live session on 20th of September, Saturday at 9 a.m. India time. 9 a.m. India time, you join the session. And in this session, what are we going to have? First of all, I will take up your queries. Second, we will practice certain concept building questions or examples. We will practice certain exam level questions. We'll practice certain exam level questions. Third, we will help you with the quick revision of important concepts. So this session will ensure that you are studying with discipline, and this study pattern will give you the benefits of recorded classes, will give you the flexibility of recorded and the discipline of live. Okay, so every Saturday 9 a.m. we will be meeting and we'll have a session when I'll discuss all the queries, certain concept building questions, certain exam level questions, certain quick revision of the important concepts is what we are going to discuss in these sessions. Now, when we practice the questions, I will be explaining you how to read the question, how to read the exhibit, how to interpret the requirement, how to do the brainstorming of answers, and how to ultimately draft your answers. How will we do all these things? So for every standard, I'll be drafting few answers in front of you in the class. I'll be comparing my answer with the suggested answer in the class. Okay. And then I will ask you to write the same answer after the class. Okay. So this way what will happen? Initially, I will be like, it's like a climber tree approach. It's like a climber tree approach. For what happens in a climber tree approach? There's a wooden stick. There's a plant that is growing. The plant takes the help of the wooden stick, and then the plant rises on its own, right? So I will be that wooden stick, you are the plant. I will be the wooden stick, you are the plant. I'll be there to support you, but answering, practicing, you have to do. I will be there to guide you at every step. Okay. First of all, I will draft answer to show how to draft answer. Then you have to draft answer to ensure that you have understood what I have explained. This will be the class structure. Now, once we do it for all the concepts, if you see here, by first week of November, we will be done with the entire SBR syllabus. It is after that we'll practice some exam paper, the past papers. We'll practice some past papers. Okay. Then we'll practice pre-mock for your attempt. Okay. Now, if you can see here, chapter wise schedule will be over by first week of November. Okay. Then practice 3 exam level questions, pre-mock exam, and it will be evaluated as well. But you have to send your notebooks to me on the given deadline. Okay. And queries, you can ask me till you clear the exams. Now, so this is what will be the class structure, and I have particularly designed this class structure keeping in mind that you should get, because professional level students are working as well, right? So I want to give you the flexibility of the recorded lectures, but at the same time maintaining the discipline of the live sessions. Okay, so you need to maintain that discipline, that you are completing the lectures in line with this schedule. I will be sharing this schedule in the Telegram group. Whether you are enrolled student or you are not an enrolled student, you have to follow this schedule. If you follow the schedule, definitely you will be able to complete the concepts well on time, and you will have the sufficient time to practice the exam level questions as well. Okay, all the schedule will be found in the Telegram group. The link of the Telegram group is already pinned here. Okay. Now, additionally, guys, I will be giving you my SBR capsule book. What is SBR capsule? Let me show it to you. Capsule book. Let's suppose for leases. So this capsule book has all the concepts summarized. Not only concepts, guys, it has few important master questions to understand the concept in a better manner. Not only that, it also has exam focus point, which will highlight the mistakes done by the students in the past exam, which you should not repeat in the future exams. Okay. Now, but what I recommend to my students when I give you SBR capsule, this is prepared in line with what I think. Now, there are different students are different with a different mindset. So what I recommend to my students is you take a print of this SBR capsule, and as you find it necessary, you can include few other topics, few other points, or few importance, few relevance, okay, few examples in your own words. If you want, you can include that. Okay, or if you want to delete something, you can do that. So make changes according to what you deem fit. Now, this is so far we discussed the importance of SBR paper. We discussed the SBR syllabus structure. We discussed the SBR paper pattern. We also discussed how our classes of SBR will be structured. Further, we went ahead and discussed the class structure of ACCA SBR. Okay, now we have to discuss the expectations that you can have from me and that I can have from you. Definitely, you can expect a detailed conceptual clarity, practice of concept level questions and exam level questions. Okay, what is the difference between concept level questions and exam level questions? So concept level questions are particularly focused on that particular standard, but exam level questions might focus on different standards. Let me show it to you. Let me show it to you from the previous batch, SBR September 2025. Just see the concept level questions, how it moves along. See here, these are concept level questions that I took in the previous batch. Might be from Kaplan, as you ask, might be from the Kaplan, might be from Study Hub, might be from anywhere else. Okay, so this question is from Study Hub. This question is from past paper. Okay, this question is from Kaplan. This question is from Kaplan. Okay, now again, if you can see further, financial instruments, multiple examples we do take up in our classes. So group accounting being an important chapter, we have taken up the revision of that also. Further, if you see leases, we take up from Study Hub. Okay, so it's a mix. It's a mix. I try to find out the conceptual questions and discuss that in the class. Okay. Now moving back to my December session orientation, right? The expectation that I can have from you. Okay, now further. So this is conceptual clarity and the practice of questions. Queries you can discuss with me in the live sessions, or you can discuss with me in the group, or you can discuss with me in the app when and when you are watching the lectures. There only you will have an option to ask your queries. So you can post your queries on a regular basis. I will be evaluating. I'll be seeing the app and I will be responding the queries there as well. Okay, we will have quick revision sessions of important concepts. We'll have a mock test as we discussed. We will have the practice of the past paper questions plus the pre-mock for your exam. Okay, now expectations that I can have from you is you will be, see, I don't have much expectation, but the only expectation is you should be active in the class. Ask if you have queries. Ask if you have queries. Guys, you have paid for it. If you have paid for it, this gives you the right to ask for the queries. So ask for your queries. Okay. Now comes the class notes. Okay. Parth is asking, you have already enrolled. When can you get the access to the concept videos? We will be giving you the access by tomorrow. Okay. Now, class notes. Let me show you the folder of my previous batch. Just a minute. Okay, this is my previous batch folder, SBR. Let me show SBR Hindi. See here. So what all things we give? Class notes, running notes, live sessions, Kaplan kits. Okay. If it is available in the public forum, we give it to you. We don't guarantee that we'll give you kits, but if it is available in the public forum, we can give it to you. Okay. Now, practice sessions, SBR technical articles and topic explainer. Guys, one more point. There are multiple technical articles and topic explainer videos. So what I have done for you guys is, I'll show it to you. For your ease, what I have done is, I have mapped the technical articles with the relevant chapters. And just beside that, I have given the link. Let's suppose if you are studying group accounting and you want to read the technical article of that. Okay, there are two technical articles. Click on this technical article and the technical article is open in front of you. So you are not required to hover around and find and struggle. Where is the technical article? Which technical article to be read when? Need not worry. I will give you this file. In this file, you will have the technical articles list ready, mapped to the relevant chapter. Not only for technical articles, for the topic explainer videos also. These videos are not made by me. These videos are made by ACCA examining team. Okay. So these videos are required to be watched as it is and when you complete that particular topic. I believe that is clear to all of you. Okay. Now coming to the session again. Class notes, question practice as we discussed, mock test we discussed, technical resources, ACCA technical resources. Guys, ACCA gives you a lot of technical resources. For the enrolled students, need not worry. I'll take care of each and everything in the classes. But for the students who are not enrolled and planning to do self-study, my strong recommendation to all of you, don't miss out on any of these technical resources. They are a great source of your knowledge, a great source of your knowledge. Let me show it to you guys. Let me show it to you. Okay, this is accaglobal.com. I believe all of you are aware of this website. Okay, now in this, what you have to do is you have to click on these three dots, go to student section, scroll down, come to study resources, ACCA qualification, SBR paper. Now here you go. See how many resources, and in these resources, the quite important ones are, first of all, examiner reports. Examiner reports, a very important source of your this one. Now, what exactly is given in examiner report? Just see here. I'll show it to you. Let's just it open. Let it open. Okay. Now let me increase the size of it. Now just search candidates. Just see here. Generally, students ignore this, but understand the importance. Once you understand the importance, you will never ignore it. See, good answers explain the treatment for the year, and secondly, treatment for the year end. Candidates who did this gained healthy marks. Okay, so means you have to adopt this approach. You have to adopt this approach. This is a good approach. Now again, not only this, some candidates failed to address this treatment. Means this is a wrong approach. You are required to avoid it. So basically, by this examiner report, the examining team of ACCA is trying to talk to you and guide you. This was the approach taken by brilliant students. This was the approach taken by good students. This was the approach taken by weak students. So you have to adopt the approach taken by good students and avoid the approach taken by weak students. Okay, so this is a very you can say a gold mine. Okay, a gold mine. So please read at least last 3 attempts examiner report. It will help you tremendously. Okay, now moving on to the batch schedule. As you know, the concept lectures will be given to you in the pre-recorded mode, and the practice sessions will be given to you in the live mode, that is Saturday 9 a.m. India time. Saturday 9 a.m. India time. Saturday 9 a.m. India time. Okay, now you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We will be posting amazing resources. Okay, but yes, one thing, never forget that tomorrow 7 p.m. India time, we have a session on basics of ACCA SBR, where I am discussing the entire basics of ACCA SBR. It will be equally applicable for FR as well. So if you are someone who is appearing FR or your friends are appearing FR, do recommend them to join the session. So it will be called as, session will be called as basics of ACCA FR and SBR. Okay. So see you tomorrow in that session, and I hope you enjoyed the session. If you want to enroll for our classes, you can log on to this website or WhatsApp me if you have any queries. Do not forget to use the country code if you are from outside India. That's all for session. I hope you enjoyed the session, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.